So, Key, big decision to make for the Eagles. Should they give Saquon a shot at history?
No, and no.
No, okay.
I got the number 2 seed locked up. Our goal is to be in New Orleans with Joy and company and having fun.
Correct.
Not as a
Not
looky-loos, but
they're making money.
No, they are not making appearances, but as a participant in the Super Bowl.
Right.
Why would I put 2,000 yards over getting to the Super Bowl? And I'm the what-if guy. What if? Okay, we already got Jalen Hurts on the sideline. Mm-hmm. What if? Just what if? Right. Anything. It could be a finger, it could be a toe, it could be anything. I'm not risking that. It's not worth it at the end of the day. You got 2,000 yards. You didn't get a chance to get the record. You should have got 16 games, man. You're more important to this team to get to a Super Bowl and win a Super Bowl than it is for you to be able to say I broke a 40-year-old record. I'm sorry. I'm just not with that. I'm not with it.
Yeah, and I love the approach that they are taking, you know. And Coach Sirianni said, I'm going to listen to what the team wants to do. And I'm going to tell you why I think that's important. And I know Key was talking about worrying about breaking a bone. I'm more worried about breaking the mentality of the team. You see, the team is saying, we want to go and get this record. We want to do this with Saquon. And I harken back to when they did this in Indy, and Indy was on their way going to an undefeated season. The team was saying, we want to go for it. Bill Polian said, well, we don't need to go for it. And he broke the team's mentality. And then they ultimately ended up losing. See, right here, if the team says, let's go for it, I want to go for it. I want to try to get it. Because I want the team to say when we set our minds to something, we go and accomplish it. Now, let's get all, once we break that record, let's set our mind to get in that Super Bowl and we go and accomplish it. And we'll take that confidence into that playoff run after we get this record. This is, I would absolutely want to follow what the team wants to do right here. Every guy say they want to play, let's go for it. I think that's very important. And they have to be careful on how they approach this.
Game.
But it's not meaningless. If the guys are coming together and saying, we want to do this, the game may be meaningless, but the mentality that we're taking in the playoffs
but you can still,
is very important.
still take that mentality to the playoffs by not even playing in the game. You can still take that in here. Because guess what I'm going to do? Who they play? Who do they play last game?
Who's the Eagles last game against?
That's right.
So if I'm the Giants, I'm getting ready to line up 10 men across. You just gonna have to throw the ball and beat us.
I don't blame.
I'm gonna stack the deck.
I don't blame.
I'm gonna stack the deck. I'm gonna stack the deck. I'm bringing the
definitely
house.
Don't want to
Especially against the Giants.
The Giants cannot
They do not want this happen against the Giants.
That's what I'm saying.
They cannot.
They gonna try.
That's exactly why.
They done every week we're like, remember Giants, what you gave up? Now he's going to go in there and break a 40-year-old record.
Exactly why.
Absolutely not.
I'm just cautious, Paul, man. I understand what Michael's saying about
the boys want to give that to him.
I think you go for it. This is a once-in-a-lifetime deal.
I get it, but I just...
And I'm like, Key, I'm not an if guy, but
man.
What if he breaks the record? And then what if they win the Super Bowl? All in the same year. You talk about historic, and then how about what if he don't go for it? And they still get bounced in the playoffs, and he look back and have a regret of not going for it. I'm going to look back like, man, we lost in the playoffs and I didn't even go for it.
Right.
Like, come on, man. You only get the chance to play this game for so long. And these type of moments just don't come around. You see, this is a 40-year-old record.
Right.
I'm just cautious.
Dude, let me tell you, they winning that Dallas game. There was no doubt in my mind he's going to get 2,000 yards today. They had their minds made up when they came out running. And I'm telling you, they need that mindset going into the playoffs. I would be very careful.
I'm always on the side of what is the bigger goal. And the reality is this is a sport where it is on the board that you're not going to be there for the rest of the season. In 1 second, these things happen. And can you imagine the regret? There is just a huge risk. And the reality is they're going to say, there is regret on both sides. It's not an easy choice. But also, they're going to say that he didn't do it in 16 games. Now, it's going to be in less carries.
Yeah.
Right.
But they are going to say that he had an extra game to do it.
Right. But we'll say that around here for about a year. nobody else is going to remember that. As time
Eventually,
passes.
as time goes on, it'll be his record because we have 17 games.
Because back in the day, they used to play 14.
12 games.
They used to play 14.
14 games.
Okay, so
no, you're right. Eventually, it will age into his record, and we're not going to talk about that.
It's the little things. It's not so much Saquon Barkley for me. It's just the little things. We got an offensive lineman that all of a sudden has a stinger who has to play in a divisional game. And why does he have the stinger? Is because he had a wham block that they decided to pull him and wham to get Saquon on a toss sweep, kick out the corner, but he got a stinger. Now, that's what I'm talking about. The little things that's unnecessary. Unnecessary risk.
I'm with you, but I think I tend to agree with Michael. If they want to go for it, you can't tell a team no.
You can't tell them no.
Can't break the mentality.
Yeah.
You cannot break the mentality.
I would think that Nick Sirianni, out of all people, don't want to mess this up. That's all I'm saying. I almost used another word.
I personally am not playing him. I'm not risking it.
I don't think that Nick wants to walk around the streets of Philadelphia.
No, he doesn't.
Messing this up.
And I have to be honest, because what we're about to talk about is going to completely contradict what I'm saying right now. So I personally, if I was head coach, I would not be playing.
No, I ain't playing him.
But I do understand what you're saying
I ain't
about
playing him.
What if you're making his decision?
I'm the head damn coach. I'm taking that decision out of your hands, Paul. What the hell you think this is?
The bigger picture is to win a Super Bowl, and they're not doing that without him.
Regret if you don't get the record you set and then you don't win a Super Bowl.
But my point is my plan as a coach.
You gonna look back like, damn.
My plan
you're gonna do that anyway.
My plan as the head coach. My plan as Jeff Lurie, the owner, is to win the Super Bowl. My plan is not 2,000 yards. I'm sorry. He already got 2 Gs. I'm good. I'm trying to win the Super Bowl.
Key, you said earlier, we were looking at this here, Eric Dickerson at 2105, Adrian Peterson, 2097. Key, first thing he said, man, why didn't he get them other 8 yards? First thing he said, why did you go for
I was just trying to figure out why he didn't get it.
Why didn't you go for That's exactly what Saquon will be saying.
No.
That's exactly what he's
saying. No, because Minnesota wasn't going to the Super Bowl.
101 is that this dude's been running well all year. They can get that in the first half and sit him down.
They can.
Get that in the first half.
Speaking of that, over to college, University of Miami quarterback Cam Ward set the Division I record for career passing touchdowns in the Pop-Tarts Bowl in the first half. Then he sat out for the second half.
Joe, that's good.
The Hurricanes would end up losing to Iowa State 42-41. So we lined that up perfectly.
Typical Hurricane. They're going to do what they want to do. Miami Hurricane. Man,
are you okay with Cam Ward's decision, Michael?
Absolutely, I'm okay. First of all, now, if I had a choice, I would have said, Cam, just play the second half if you're only going to play a half, and we can get the record and everything in the second half. But I'm absolutely okay with Cam Ward's decision. And I hope people don't start this mess right here. You know, this was the Pop-Tart Bowl. Pop-Tart Bowl. He popped in, played the first half, popped back out of there. That's okay. I can take that in the Pop-Tart Bowl. But what happens is after you make your last pass in the college, now everybody wants to come in and start pecking away, and pulling and finding the negative things. Man, this kid has been incredible. We so thank him again at Miami. I thank him all the time for opening that door back up. Now we can go in the young kids' home and say, man, are you going to come and be our next Cam Ward? Because we couldn't go back to the Vinny Testaverdes and all of those guys. It was too long, and the kids don't know. We got us a fresh one. And, I'm going to throw them around, boy, like a throw rug. Every quarterback I see, you're the next Cam Ward. That's what I love the kid.
So we're okay with him playing the first half to breaking the water, but not Saquon Barkley? Like, that's okay? I'm trying to get it.
To add the nuance to the situation, this is truly not it's a bowl game. It's not for the college football playoff. Now,
but this is
risking,
for a high draft?
It's a third pick in the draft, fourth pick in the draft, somewhere in top five.
He could risk
way more.
Yes.
Way more.
Right, but his risk is for himself. Saquon's risk is for the rest of the team.
Yeah. It's still a high risk on both.
Sure. But the context of it is, if Saquon gets hurt,
is more. than Saquon's because this is his livelihood.
No. It's a huge risk, but it's only Cam Ward's risk. Like, the Hurricanes are going to have a season next year. The risk for Saquon Barkley is the rest of the season for the rest of the Eagles.
Super Bowl.
Is the Super Bowl could be on the line.
I think if you're going to play or don't play at all. I think this is what the problem is with this new generation is the competitive spirit. It's all about what can I accomplish, my numbers. Am I on Instagram showing you a highlight? This is the era. It's about our brand. It's not even about team or competitive spirit or winning. I don't like it. Like, let me go out here and break this record, y'all, and then I'm gonna sit. Like if I was on that team, I'd be like, man, if you ain't gonna play the whole game, don't play at all. Because we've been busting our butts all year long to get to this bowl game or whatever night. I know we ain't in the playoff, but we here now, and this is our last game. Some of us are seniors and want to win this game. Some of us might not play football ever again. We want to win this game, and this is what you do. I don't like that. You know what I'm saying?
If he doesn't break the record, does he play the second half to try to get the record? That's a question. If he doesn't break it, does he play Michael the second half to get the record?
And I don't see why that's a problem.
It's not a problem for me.
I don't have an issue with him going for the
man.
record. These are opportunities in life that, we always talk about. You want to leave your mark. There's nothing wrong with it. This was the #1 offense in the league.
There's nothing wrong with it at all.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it.
It was a risk.
And I don't think it's put up against the right backdrop. Most guys in his level don't even step towards a Pop-Tart bowl.
No.
They won't even put on the Pop-Tart clothing. So let's stop.
When I was coming out,
there's a lot of kids that ain't show up at bowls.
When I was coming out, I had to make a decision because we was playing in the Rose Bowl. This is a long time ago. This is before Christian McCaffrey did what he did. Mm-hmm. If we would have gone to the Holiday Bowl, I wasn't gonna play. But I decided to play in a Rose Bowl because it's the granddaddy of them all. It's the big, it's at home, it's the big, you dream of going to the Rose Bowl.
Right.
But I didn't play in the Reese's Senior Bowl. None of those bowls, those All-Star games, none of that. I was like, I'm not playing, I'm not taking this.
You can't improve on #1.
They kept, and you know all them, they kept trying to force me to play in the East-West Shrine game or play in the Senior Bowl. I'm like, man, I'm good. I'm not worried about that. If I was him, I probably wouldn't have played in the Pop-Tart Bowl at all. I just wouldn't have played in it. Because it's not, okay, I get the record, all right, big deal. But I also run that risk in that first half of some knucklehead whiffing on his block and hitting me from the blind side and ripping up my shoulder.
Right.
So I just,
I personally, I don't think if you are
National Championship, do it.
Sniffing anywhere near the first round of the draft that you should play in a bowl that is not a part of the college football playoff.
Can we get credit for the half?
I have no problem with him doing this. I think if he has the opportunity to break the record and he feels comfortable taking that risk, again, that's his risk to take. I personally don't think that they should play. If you're going into the draft and you're going to be a top pick and you're not really going to improve where you're drafted based off your performance in this bowl, there's no reason you should be on the field because you're risking your future and perhaps literally being able to go into the league depending on how bad the injury is for a bowl game that's not going to change your position in the draft. So I don't think that you should be playing.
I agree.
But I also have no problem with him playing, and I have no problem with him sitting out. This game is an exhibition.
This is all misrepresented. They're trying to place this on him as him being selfish when I think he is absolutely being selfless. He's the one, like we just talked about, with the risk here.
Yeah, I don't think he's selfish at all.
Being selfless.
I don't think he's being selfish at all. They look, in the world that we live in, Michael, as you know, you got to find something.
Yeah.
You got to, that's just, you got to find something. He can't just enjoy riding off into the sunset and getting ready for April.
You know what that is, too. You're right. I guarantee you, because I was there Sunday, too. It's everybody that gambled on that game. Man, he gonna play in the second half. What are you doing? Man, lost my. You shouldn't have gambled on the game. That's all I'm saying. Don't get mad at this man now because he's thinking about he's taking his gamble off the table and said,
Listen, you fought your way to get in the position you are to be a top pick, right? You went to practice every day, class, blood, sweat, and tears with all of your teammates. What about that senior that's out there? This is gonna be his last game ever. He's not going to the NFL. He not going to the AFL. He's going looking for a job now, and all he wants to do is win this game.
Right. But let him go look for the job. Let him go play with the other dude. Go ahead. Let him
Keep
play
in
with
touch.
the
Make
other
sure we on
quarterback.
Instagram. Like, you know what I mean?
I'm actually studying in sports law. I can be your agent.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. Probably not, but we'll talk about it. Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak, and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.